getting going with our favorite movie spoofs. Is our main topic. We'll get there eventually. Mostly, we're going to be drinking some beer, saying hi to you guys. We missed you.
Hello, hello.
What's up?
Sorry we started you a little bit late, YouTube. You're catching up, but we're good.
We'll get there.
Oops, 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 oops.
We ready?
Oops, oops, oops.
Oh shit! Where's my notebook?
I know, right?
Can't do the news without the notebook.
It's time to do the news.
The news team. Sorry.
Oh, you're fine. Don't be sorry. All right. Oops, 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 oops.
Whenever you're ready, big dog.
I'm waiting on you guys.
Oh, I'm ready.
Oh, Will, you ready?
You better be ready because we're going.
I'm good to go, BDV.
Here we go. In 3, 2,
1.
Hey, podcast land. Thanks for tuning in to a big number 60 here in Brewnomics. That's right, 60 fucking podcasts. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I'm Jerry.
I'm Paula. I'm Vic.
I'm Will.
If you haven't heard, we're going to be talking about our favorite movie spoofs. I watched a movie a little less than a week ago.
Sure.
Hadn't watched in a long time. I'm not going to tell you what it is because that'll ruin the thunder. But it's I guess you could call it a spoof, a parody movie, whatever. And I fucking love it. It made me real happy. So I was like, you know what? This podcast, we're going to be talking about our favorite movie spoofs.
Doing it.
Spoof.
Cool.
But before we do anything, you know what we're going to do?
What's that?
We're going to drink some beer.
We better drink a beer.
All right.
I got confused. I wasn't sure.
We were drinking earlier today.
We've been doing a lot of drinking so far today. We've been working real hard for you, Brew Crew.
That's what we do.
Trying to do our March Madness beer bracket tournament
Heck yeah.
here. Got that started. We really can only get together one day a week usually because, you know, we're grown men with different lives, schedules, so shit happens. But, you know, it should be worth it. So, again, if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, make sure you are so you can follow along. We'll have a bracket out for you shortly if we don't already. So if you have any guesses on how the tournament will go, maybe we'll see if you're right. Probably not, though. It's a tough tournament. I didn't see it going the way it went, so.
For the record, none of us know on that tournament where anything has gone past the second round yet.
True.
And we are filming the video specifically that way. So that way next week when we talk about it and talk about how many surprises and everything there have been, we're actually surprised.
Exactly. So our first beer is from a brewery called Decadent Ales. This is one that I got off of one of my favorite apps, Tovor. You guys may or may not have heard of it before. I know you three have, but, you know, the radio world.
Can you explain
world,
how
podcast
Tovor
world.
works?
Tovor is essentially, it's a beer website that allows you to get beer not available in your area, but you can't just go and like search in the beer you don't have and see if you can get it. It's almost like they do flash sales, if it were. So they have a limited selection that will pop up for a certain time, and you get it while you get it. If you don't, you fucking miss out on it. But it's pretty cool because no matter how many beers you get, it's just $15 flat rate shipping. So make sure you check your crate and how many you have so you don't spend $15 for one beer. But this last crate was a pretty good one. I got these two from Decadent Ale. We'll drink one this week. We'll drink one next week. But these are essentially supposed to be beers that taste like Pop-Tarts. So this is supposed to be like a blueberry Pop-Tart. And then next week we'll try their one that is essentially their strawberry Pop-Tart. Which are probably my two favorite Pop-Tarts.
Easily.
So this one's just called the Blueberry Frosted Pastry. It's a double India Pale Ale with blueberries, cinnamon, and allspice added. I'll give you the can, Vic. Do some reading for me, if you don't mind.
For sure.
No, I didn't want to cut you off earlier, but I was just going to say blueberry Pop-Tart.
I like blueberry.
Maple brown sugar Pop-Tart is entirely where it's at for me.
But yeah, I like that. And you know, it's hard to go wrong with Pop-Tarts, right?
It really is. As long as you put them in the toaster.
I guess. Have you ever put butter on a Pop-Tart? It's so fucking good.
Never been that much of a fact.
Butter on a Pop-Tart? So probably think you should.
Interesting.
You
should. You should.
Sure.
Okay, moving on. Let's see what the can says from this Decadent Ales Blueberry Toasted Pastry. It reads, everyone loves toaster pastries. Here we've used a blend of sugar, spices, and real blueberries to recreate our favorite breakfast treat. Enjoy. Brewed and canned by Dorchester Brewing Company, Boston, Mass. For Decadent Ales. So,
All right.
always from the East Coast.
East Coastals. All right. Well, yeah, I'm excited, guys.
Yeah.
Cheers. What do we got on? Oh, sorry. Do we have we found this on Untapped? Actually, I'm so excited to try this beer. I haven't even.
Yeah,
thought
so
about that.
Untapped has it sitting at 7.4% alcohol by volume. It has an average rating of 3.76 derived from 1,800 ratings. It was added last December.
376. Oh, wow. That smells like a blueberry pastry. Holy shit.
Holy shit balls, dick salad, man.
That's a new one. Dick salad?
You not heard the dick salad?
Yeah, it comes with some Jizzagret dressing.
Yeah,
Obviously.
the only way you can get a dick salad.
How do you eat a dick salad?
You are welcome.
Well tossed, I guess.
You are welcome for that setup.
I believe it's hand tossed.
You like how I threw that out of the park?
All right.
John on Facebook says, please tell Will he's a huge nerd, but I still love him. John
Oh,
Wilkins. Thanks, John.
Thanks, John.
Appreciate that.
John.
Hi, Izzy. Congrats. Oh, my buddy Izzy. I worked with him. He just became a new father.
Oh, good for him, good for him.
Congrats, Izzy.
Congratulations.
Everybody.
Huge.
Have a cigar.
These good people. This beer, though. Wow, dude. Holy shit. This is a sweet, syrupy. Oh, my gosh. I'm so excited I got this. So sorry to cut you off, Vic. Before I do, that's the one thing on Devore, both this one and the one we'll have next week, the strawberry one, they sold out in less than an hour. Most of the times you might get a few days, but every now and then beers will just sell out. And these two are one of them. So I'm real thankful we're able to try these on the podcast because we're definitely not going to be able to pick this up in a shot here.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
So what do you think, Vic?
I think it's fantastic. It's got this sweet marshmallowy, caramelly, sugary, frosted like. If somebody took a kitchen torch to a marshmallow that was
creme brulee almost.
encased in sugar and then like created the syrup from that and then put that with alcohol, I think that's what we might have. And it's fantastic. I love it.
Yeah.
Paul, what do you think, sir?
Tart, sweet, in just the best ways possible. I want a whole can of this by myself. I feel like sharing with you guys is a shame. I just want to keep it to myself.
It is. I will say, though, I'm really glad that we're just doing one of them. Hi, Troy. You're sexy, too. We got to get him on this podcast eventually next time he's up there, up here. But yeah, dude, this one, two of these beers, though, this and a strawberry, too much.
Yeah.
I'm glad we're splitting these
Thank
ones
you.
up.
Super
that's for
sweet,
sure.
super sweet. Yeah.
But as it is, this is a fun, Decadent Ales. Let's talk about appropriately named brewery. Decadent.
This tastes like you're biting into a pastry. Like
dude.
a jelly-filled donut is entirely what this is.
Yeah. Man, we've got some really fun beers tonight. I'm excited to see how this goes. I also realized I just forgot my sipper, and I'm super upset about it.
No.
We'll describe our sipper real quick, the one that we got.
So we discovered.
Don't put a spoiler on the brackets.
No.
Just let them know what it is.
I wouldn't never do that. The sipper that Jerry and I are flavoring tonight is something that we kind of came up with on the fly as we were doing our matchups. One of our first round matchups was featuring the Belching Beaver Peanut Butter Stout against the Jam Band Berry Ale from Boulevard. And we decided to mix them. And it essentially created a peanut butter jelly sandwich drink.
Beer, like a 5.7% peanut butter jelly sandwich beer.
And it is the most, I've had other variations of this,
yo.
and this is the best version I've
It's
ever
good.
had.
It's like my new favorite blend. I'm really excited about it. So if you guys see those two beers, definitely grab them and just mix them together.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun and just party in your mouth.
But let's rate this beer. So again, on Untapped, what do we got? A 3.76 overall rating. Paula, what do you think about it?
3.75. It's definitely a treat yourself
Mhm.
beer. It's not a beer that you would drink on the daily or on the reg. 2 to 3 after another, because I feel like that'd be a bit too much,
Oh,
a
dude.
bit too decadent.
You probably get a cavity also.
But I feel like 3.75 is the perfect for me.
Because it is a special beer.
Mhm.
You know, it's not something you're going to drink constantly, but it probably is something that you're going to go out of your way to get. I would think so, at least.
I was going to ask you, Jerry. I know you got these off Tavor, which usually has a little bit of a
Upcharge.
Yeah, and a little bit of a surcharge. But how much did you pay for these?
So a few things real quick. Untapped says this beer is 7.4%. Tavor, where I bought it from, because the can actually doesn't, or the can does say it's actually 8.6%. So I don't know what's up with Untapped. It's way wrong in this case, though.
That changes things.
Big time. So, I mean, it's a full 1.2% more than whatever Untapped is claiming that it is. $8 a can. So 2 of these were $16, $7.99.
Okay.
And
For
it's
what
not
it's
your
worth,
regular can, though.
It's not your regular can.
Okay.
Again, Tavor, you definitely have an upcharge. So as far as that price goes, in my mind, totally justified.
Sure.
Totally justified, 100%.
But it's not like a 12-ounce can. It's what is it, your 16?
Correct. This is a full pint.
Okay, good.
So I'm just going to go to Tavor here, just because it says rated 4.05 on Untapped. So I wonder if they have a new version, because both our rating and our percentage is wildly different.
I would think if you were to find this locally, I'm not sure where the brewery is actually located in the U.S. But if you were to find it locally, I would think that you'd probably find a 4-pack of this for maybe $16, $18, something like that. But that's just off the top of my head and guessing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd probably say if you're finding a single locally, it's maybe more like $6.50.
Probably somewhere around there.
Which it seems like, based off the taste, that's a good place to put it.
I think so. But 3.76, which I like it. I think 3.75 is appropriate.
Right,
Super
yeah,
appropriate.
Yeah, I
So I'm
tripled
going to
down
go
on
right
that.
there.
I'm
Yeah.
going to triple down with you on the 3.75 as well. I think it's super appropriate based on availability, drinkability, and goddamn quality.
Goddamn, quality's really good too. But again, I would almost rate it higher if the only thing holding me back is redrinkability. The
Agreed.
fact that I couldn't have multiple of these, it's not necessarily designed that way, but that's ultimately to me what doesn't throw it over to a 4.
We're going all for one for all. This is a 3.75 for me as well.
Nice. Right on. Right on.
Nice.
Townfield, you back again.
Doing a little East Coast swing. All right.
Good job, guys. You did nice with that.
Thank you.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
That's none of your goddamn business.
Well, I'm looking at what you're
I'm a
doing.
little.
Yeah.
No.
We're
We
kinda
were asking,
involved.
what have you been doing? What have you been doing? What about you, Vic? PK, what have you guys been
We'll
doing?
finish the show up with that. We'll make people earn the right to listen to that.
Wow.
Moving on.
Moving on. Let's talk about some news here real quick. So Sockeye Brewing, there we go, do it again. Sockeye Brewing Company, their OG location, I think their original one, if you're here from Boise on Cole Road, is shutting the fucking down.
Damn.
Yeah, not that it means they're losing a location. They're actually actively trying to find another one. They just haven't yet. But I couldn't find out why exactly they were closing this location. Have you guys heard anything on that?
There's a whole new shopping plaza being made there, and it's I supposedly, I'm not too sure of an article I read that it's supposed to be like Asian themed, and it's just Sockeye doesn't really fit within the theme of the shopping plaza.
Not only that, they've kind of outgrown that location.
It's been a grip.
Yeah.
It's small. It's fucked parking on there. It's hard to get in and out of. So I've always kind of actually hated that.
So why
location,
not, right?
personally?
Yeah.
So when I heard it was shutting down, I was like, oh, cool. I don't have to go out of my way to not go to that location anymore.
And that location is also very inaccessible from any kind of freeway or major shopping areas that, would draw normal traffic other than just local traffic.
Dang.
So I'm not surprised by it. I'm a little saddened, but it sounds like they have 4 different locations that they're thinking of. North End Boise, Southeast Boise, Nampa, and Eagle, I believe, are the 4 different locations. If you guys had to choose one, what would you pick?
If I had to choose one, just for personal convenience?
Yeah.
No, probably Southeast Boise. But I think ultimately what it'll be is the Eagle location.
That would make the most sense.
It would make the most sense. I would want to go North End. That's so expensive.
That would make sense too, and that is expensive, but there's also no room in the north.
There's no room, but once you get that room,
But
you're probably gonna be booming.
you're going to get a lot of pushback just from the residents. though.
Eagle or Meridian is the only
Yeah.
thing that makes sense to me. Well, they already have that one in Meridian.
On Fairview,
on
yeah.
Fairview, which is a nice one.
And that's
Actually,
why
I
I'm
like that
thinking
one.
that is actually pretty close to Eagle anyways.
Yeah, fuck it, that's enough sockeye. Let's move on.
All right.
Topic.
Moving on.
Moving on. Let's do some more beer news, if you guys don't mind. Anchor Brewing, I said it right that time, out of San Francisco, California, officially unionizes. This is kind of a big deal because Anchor Brewing is actually owned by Sapporo, which is the second largest brewing company in the world.
Really?
Yeah, next to Anheuser-Busch. It's
Wow.
Sapporo. I didn't know that until, wow, right?
Can you give me an example of one of their brews that they produce?
Sapporo?
Yeah.
That is
Sapporo.
I'm not familiar with
Oh, really?
Oh,
You can find that in a lot of like
Ichiban
Asian
beer,
Tiger beer.
mhm, Tiger, yeah, a lot of
Tiger. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
familiar with
It's
the
an
Tiger.
Asian beer.
Sing Sao. Another one, really? Okay, they're all just Asian Budweisers, really.
Interesting.
But either way, Anchor they own out of again San Francisco. But the unionizing is a big deal because these industrial breweries like this, they're kind of notorious for appalling working conditions. So this is one of the first times I can't think of another one where a brewery is actually unionized. So they actually get a say in recipes, hours, working conditions. Like unions can help out quite a bit. Idaho can learn a thing or two about that, in my opinion. I'm not going to go off on a rant on that one,
Yeah.
but in my opinion, this is actually a pretty big deal. And I'm wondering if we're going to see Miller Coors, Pabst, Anheuser-Busch, anything like that follow suit, because this could set a trend.
Interesting.
With how established those other recipes are for those big conglomerate corporations, I'd be surprised if you found unionization.
A lot of them are struggling though right now. Miller Coors is one of them that is. Pabst is one. A lot of them have come under fire. So I could see in order for them to kind of create some sort of like employee satisfaction, try and actually stay competitive amongst the industry instead of constantly losing money like they have, maybe leaning towards a union might be something they'd have to do.
I would hope that they would lean that way as opposed to just giving their employees more of like a stakeholder claim, like stock options or something like that. I really would hope that they would unionize instead, personally.
How much maple do you guys think is in this beer? This decadent one. Sorry to go back to that. I just took another sip and I'm like, holy crap, this is a blueberry Pop-Tart, cinnamon toast crunch, and maple syrup all wrapped in one.
A lot of
There's
maple syrup.
so much sweetness. Woo!
Yeah, there's-
sweetness,
Yes.
I'm tasting frosting the whole time.
Yeah.
Man, frosting.
So,
Ba-dum-bum.
Moving on.
Awkward
transition.
on purpose. All right, more news, awkward transition. Paula, did you have any more beer news, Jerry? No, that was it? Okay, good. I wanted to just double clear. We're good to move on. You can cut that out later, Vic, or leave it in, whatever you feel like.
it's already live. It's not going to be forgotten.
It's out there.
It's out there.
Paula, you brought something up to me the other day that I thought was just amazing. And that was, there's going to be a Batman versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon movie.
Yeah, animated movie. And it's from the WB, so you know it's going to be badass.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, there's a scene in the trailer where you see Batman just fighting the turtles nonchalantly. He's like,
Like they're a bunch of fucking white belts, dude. It was
so good.
crazy.
So good.
I don't think that's how it would happen. First off, I strongly disagree with that sentiment, especially all four. I think they fucked Batman up. Neither here nor there, but the way it was done in the film was actually.
I feel like it would be a battle. I feel like it would be a battle.
It would be way more of a battle than what they showed there.
Oh,
That's for
yeah,
damn sure.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
Batman is not going to easily handle the turtles. Okay, he's not. He's not.
It's
But
the Batman power.
The way they handle, especially the Kevin Conroy Batman, definitely has that Batman or about him that All right, that was kind of cute. That's all I'm saying. Ultimately, it was cute, but take it easy.
I think the battle that
Right,
I'm
they're straight.
more excited about in that universe is Batman versus the Shredder.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Fuck yes. Well, absolutely, I agree, bro. And I saw Bruce Wayne versus Orokusaki.
Yes.
Come on now. That looked dope, especially. I love the way they animated that. That Ippon Seonagi Batman dropped on Orokusaki.
Oh yeah.
Judo throw in there. I was just like,
Mhm.
God damn, someone that animated this knows them some judo. All right.
All right.
Good job.
So it looks like that's gonna.
I'm jazzed for this, yo. I'm jazzed.
I'm
I'm
super
excited. This is
excited.
going to be fun.
Dope as
This is
fuck.
going to be fun, yo. We're going to have to do a podcast review on that after
Yes,
it comes out. I will be happy to do so.
Speaking of when it comes out, that's supposed to come out, I believe, May 14th.
Right
something like
around
that.
there, I think you're right.
And
It's
on-
pretty soon, yeah.
That's on digital, and then DVD Blu-ray is supposed to be
Like
June.
usually a week or two later.
No, June 4th.
About 2 weeks later. Then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So speaking of DC, we're actually going to talk about the next, DC's newest director, James Gunn. He's had he actually got pulled back to his old job.
Fuck yeah, I did, obviously.
Hell yeah.
Explain more, Jerry. What do you got?
Well, I just love that, James Gunn is back, baby. But one thing that I think is super hilarious,
He's going to be he's going to be Guardians of the Galaxy 3 director again.
But Disney never looked, considered, or searched for an alternate. Wasn't even on the table.
They didn't? Are you sure?
I'm pretty positive, yes.
Well, I thought somebody might have had something to say about that.
I think it was just in jest.
Can you explain more?
So Taika Waititi obviously had a tweet that said, I don't know, come on, it was supposed to be me. But he was never, ever slated to. I think that was just Taika being Taika.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's kind of sassy like that. Plus, let's be real, if it would have been anybody, it probably should have been Jon Favreau. But Taika would have been a good one, too. Either way, but apparently there was actually never, again, any consideration for anyone else.
Well,
I kind of thought they were just going to kill it.
That was the rumor for a long time, and
Mhm.
we even on this podcast had speculated that if there was going to be another person on it, it should be Taika Waititi or Jon Favreau.
We did, absolutely.
So,
But even then, I think I thought they were leaning towards, if anything, killing it, because they even told the cast and crew, like, find other work, yo. So here's my question. Obviously, he's probably still doing Suicide Squad, right?
oh yes,
So he's going to do
yeah.
both of them. So what's the time frame? Because there's no way he can do both of these at the same time.
From my understanding, the DC one,
Suicide Squad 2?
yes, Suicide Squad 2 is going to be released first.
Well, yeah, because that's
And
currently in action. Or not in action, but they're actively writing the
It's
script.
in production yet.
Trying to, they haven't started shooting or anything, but.
Yeah. As far as I know, that one will be debuting first, and then he'll go straight from that.
But who
Into-
knows? It's fucking
into
DC. Because the
Yeah.
other DC news that I heard, transitioning into that, was Flash is supposed to start shooting as soon as November.
Okay.
Ezra Miller doesn't like the script and wants to rewrite it because he wants a darker Flash movie, and he might just drop out also.
Wow.
I
Do we
find
have
that
a
hard to
director
believe.
attached? Because
I can't remember.
that was
actually.
a huge amount of contention. That was like, we don't have an actual director involved.
Dude,
in
I don't
that
know
movie,
what's
and I hadn't
going on
heard
with
anything
DC,
since,
right? You
so-
might be right. Let me actually give it a.
Because it was the director and it was the script that was completely in contention for this movie. So just to hear that they've like tried to go forward with it kind of blows my mind.
The surprising thing for me about this is to hear that Ezra Miller wanted it to be darker as opposed to.
Oh, that's right. Because sorry. Go ahead. Finish.
I was just going to say, because he's been, typically the light comedic effect, in the DC cinematic universe. And I mean, maybe he wants it darker so that way, the jokes land harder by contrast.
And
That's the only thing I can think of.
here's what the deal. For me, it's not surprising that Ezra Miller wants it darker because that's more of his personality type. The Flash is more of the bubbly, like he's lighter, like it's just the character that he plays, and he's completely different from the character.
I've got to be honest. I think Ezra Miller is one of the worst choices you could do for Barry Allen. I do not like it. I don't think
agree.
he's true to the character in any way whatsoever.
I agree.
Like he's fine as the Flash because there are so many
Iteration.
iterations. Thank you. But as Barry Allen, no, not even a little bit. I fucking hate it. But also there are directors attached to it. It's John Francis Daley and Jonathan Goldstein. I remember because they're doing the kind of weird dual thing, and they've done a few movies together. But I'm trying to, what is it? I think we actually talked about him at one point. That John Francis Daly was the weird looking dude from Bones. He's an actor that quit acting to turn directing.
Okay.
And I don't know who the other guy is, but that was when they were doing the Flashpoint story.
Oh,
But
that
they
kid.
pulled,
Yeah.
But they've pulled Flashpoint since then. So I don't know, man. Part of me almost expects the Flash to just.
I don't know that it'll happen. I just don't know.
It wouldn't break my heart.
It wouldn't. I want it to because I want it to be within the canon of the DCEU, but like it's so fucked up at this point that even adding it would be problematic.
We're just getting one-offs of stories.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I mean, we have magic with Aquaman and Wonder Woman, so those two have proven that. Honestly,
They can do it, so
They
we'll
can do
see.
it.
And I'm still curious to see what Shazam holds.
we'll see. We'll see. I think so. I'm going to say it now. I feel like Shazam's going to hold very strongly. I feel strong that it's going to do well, but that's just me saying that now. So
I hope so. I really hope so. I don't think so, but I hope so. What else you got? Awkward transition into.
Well, we're gonna go from one comic universe to another here, and we're gonna switch back to Marvel because they dropped the second Avengers trailer on us.
Oh shit!
Oh shit! Get your towels ready.
Y'all got up and done it.
Did you guys all get to see it? You all had a chance?
Yeah, I've watched it like
Yeah.
3 times.
Mm-hmm.
What struck you as new or interesting from this trailer compared to the others? Because this, I feel like, had the most info reveal.
Well, I think it's funny when you release one trailer where they obviously we knew it wasn't true, but make Tony Stark seem like he's stranded in space, and then in the next trailer, just kidding, he's fine. He's with the rest of the team. See, he's got a cute white suit.
Oh, really? He was in with them walking around? Because I didn't catch that.
No, when they were all walking in their little white matching Voltron-looking suits.
Yeah.
Tony Stark's part of the team, yo.
I only saw it once, so I didn't get that.
Oh,
I didn't look at it that close, but he's back on Earth then at that point.
yes.
Okay,
It's
cool.
The Voltron Force.
It's a Voltron force. They're pretty much all there.
So,
In that one, well, the ones that weren't dusted, at least, are all there.
what do you guys think? So, yeah, because I even saw Nebula there as well.
Correct.
So, what do you guys think of those suits? Do you think that they're space suits? Do you think they're Voltron suits? What do you think?
Space suits.
Space suits.
I mean, I thought they were kind of dumb.
It's like quantum realm suits, if you will. You know, they like time travel back into whomever.
I didn't love the weird plasticky white stormtrooper look they had. Voltron.
Yeah.
Shit. Wasn't a huge fan. I mean, obviously, I don't think it's going to take away from the movie, but suit design, maybe could have done a little bit better in that.
That was my thought too. Was that it's not going to be a spacesuit. It's not going to be even a time travel suit. It's going to be a multiverse or microverse,
whatever.
quantum realm suit where they go to where Ant-Man is gone.
They've just got all the PIM technologies in it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be my thought.
With the Avengers logo.
Yeah. Only reason that I think that is just because they had the whole entire Ant-Man and the Wasp movie to introduce the microverse essentially as a place that could be traversed.
Right.
The quantum realm.
Yes.
It's real.
It's
I don't know, man.
it's a
We'll
realm,
see.
not a
I'm
verse.
definitely excited for this movie, especially that it's so close around the corner here. I didn't really, like I said, I didn't necessarily have any problems with the trailer. I thought it was, except for the whole, you tried to have some drama in the first one, the next one. Just kidding.
Well, even at the
fine.
beginning of this first
fine.
trailer, he's still
Fine.
there out in space.
Right. And then he's not.
What do you think of the Hawkeye training the young girl? Was that his daughter?
I think it might be.
Yeah.
Because she is a character in the Marvel.
That
Comic
becomes like a
universe.
Hawkeye later.
Yeah.
Future Hawkeye.
Anything like that for you? Is that before or after the snap? Anything?
I think that's after the snap. My guess is probably his wife and son dies. Like maybe not his whole family gets dusted, but
Okay.
a large part of it, whatever. So maybe it is just him and his daughter left or something like that. I don't know for sure.
I
He's
can
got
get a,
weird hair in it.
well, yeah, and that's kind of the interesting thing is I didn't get a good look. I mean, they're silhouetted essentially in that frame. I probably will. Thank you, Jerry. But my point being is that I actually think that's before the snap, and I think it's right before the snap.
Oh.
He's doing that with his daughter,
interesting.
training her, and then all of a sudden, go.
Interesting.
But that's my little side theory.
Could be.
Could be.
Could be.
Interesting. No.
Jerry, my drink is empty, but I think you are a saint in that you have poured us another beer. What do we have here?
That's true. I have poured us another beer. I don't know about the same thing. This is an Idaho beer, but this is not I tapped that beer.
Correct.
This is from Barbarian Brewing, located here in Boise, Idaho. They call their Danger Sunset. 7% alcohol. We have us in old world style with a new world flavor. It's a sour?
Yes.
Okay.
This is a sour.
I was looking on the bottle for it. I couldn't see
It's one of
it.
the
was
few
like, I think
beers
it's
that
a
they
sour.
have that is bottled. I think this runs about $14.99 a bottle, and that's
Damn.
for what is it, 500 milliliter?
500 milliliters. Yep.
So that's like a pint, 0.9 ounces or something
Exactly.
like that. Yeah.
South Beach of Miami, 1986. The engine purring like a tiger in Crockett's white Ferrari Testarossa. Did I say that right?
I believe so.
Cool.
Yeah, Testarossa, that's right.
The scents of coconut and strawberry tingle your nostrils with pure ecstasy to send you on your journey into the Danger Sunset. This beer is a blend of 2 oak puncheons that were filled with a gold sour base and finished with strawberries and coconut. If you're going to cellar it at 55 degrees. When you serve it at 45 degrees. So this is one of those sours. That's why I poured it a little bit early. You kind of want to let warm up a little bit.
Yeah.
Not get warm, but warm up on there. So yeah, this is again, anything from Barbarian that gets bottled or canned is pretty rare because they're a very experimental brewery. They like to flip them out a lot, but they do their sours well. So it's interesting to me that this is a sour that they chose to bottle. It's also interesting that they chose to bottle and charge you $15 fucking for it.
It's also a pretty new sour, as I remember. I believe I looked this up about a month ago. It made the cut for our tournament, but even though it was still pretty new, and yeah, it's taken off. It's been pretty popular since.
Well, let's fucking try it.
You don't have to yell.
I know I don't have to, but I chose to.
Okay.
What do we got on Untapped, Vic?
Well, Untapped has this at a 4.13 average rating derived from only 71 ratings. It was added February 13th, 2019. So last month. It's about 29 days old. It says South Beach of Miami, 1986. The engine purring like a tiger in Crockett's white Ferrari Testarossa. I'm not going to reread that because Jerry just read that. So
I did.
FYI.
But so same thing on there. 4.13. Smell it, drink it, rate it. What do you guys think?
Crisp, clean. Wow. Powerful.
This has a tartness to it that just blows my mind.
It's like candy tart almost, like sweet tarts.
Yes, sweet tarts combined with Sour Patch Kids.
Oh, we use Sour Patch Kids almost way too often whenever we just describe sours. I want to hear Paula's take on this, just because he is kind of our sour expert, if you will.
Sour spurt.
I'm a sour spurt. I'm going to start rating this immediately. If you guys don't mind.
Absolutely, go for it, bro. Do what you got to do.
3.5. I almost think it's a bit too sour.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Coming from our sour guy.
Yeah, it's a bit too tart.
Has too much pucker.
Too much pucker. A little hard to swallow.
For this little fucker. Sorry.
No, you're not.
Awesome.
Vic?
God damn, yeah, it just blows my taste buds right out of the water, man. I'm gonna go with a 3.0 even on this one. I can't possibly drink anything else other than this beer. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a shock to the taste buds. So yeah, that's where I'm at. 3.0.
Fair enough.
Would you tap it? Or have we not gone there yet?
This is not our
Okay.
untapped beer. We have a different Idaho beer later on in the
Correct.
show.
Oh, that's right. So we haven't, but for the record, if you would. If it were, would you?
Yeah.
What?
No.
Okay, I thought you said yeah, no.
Yeah.
You gave it a 3, Vic?
PK gave it a 3.5.
I like the coconut aftertaste that it has. I think that kind of soothes out the tart. You know, for a sour, I really don't dislike it. I don't think it's 4.13 worthy, just because to me as a sour, it's fun. And I'm probably the least sour guy on this one, at least as far as tasting beer goes anyways. I really don't hate this. I think I would give it a 3.25. I don't know if I would tap it if it were I tap that segment, but I do. I enjoy it. Yeah, I think it's pretty okay, actually, especially tarty up front, that coconut aftertaste, cool finish balance to me. I dig it.
Exactly, the cool finish balance. Like for me, this is going to be a 3.75, which I know is the highest out of all of us.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, like because I'm about a mediocre sour. Like I enjoy them. I'm not going to go to them ever as like a mainstay.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
But it's clean, it's crisp. I like that it has a little bit of that punch, that pucker to it. I like how it's not heavy and syrupy like other sours that I've had. So for me, yeah, 3.75.
Okay.
Right on.
Okay.
So all in all, I mean, not a hated beer.
by no means.
Well, let's keep this in mind that even a 2.5 is at the top of the bell curve. That's an average. So even if we're rating it a 3, a 3.25, a 3.5, a 3.75, it's still pretty good beer.
Yeah, it kind of averages out to what, like a 3.37, something like that.
Sure.
Yeah, that's still pretty good. I don't know if the price is justified, but I didn't think about that when I considered my rating. Now that I kind of want to change it. Dang.
I mean, go for it.
Yeah, all right, fine. You convinced me. Just because the last one I rated 3.75, I don't want to be redundant. Yeah, 3.5. Just because, yeah, that's a pretty steep price. All right. Did you have any other news, Jerry, that you wanted to report?
Kind of just one bit here. Batista, you guys may or may not have heard of him. Drax.
AKA Dave.
He's back on WWE. He came on to Raw 2 weeks ago on Ric Flair's 70th birthday and beat him up, in air quotes. You know, it was behind closed doors and they dragged him out. That made Triple H mad and he came back and him and Triple H had a maybe not awesome promo, but officially declared they are going to go to fisticuffs at this year's WrestleMania, which is kind of cool because Batista said the only way he would ever come back if it was for a final match against Triple H, which I think will be a lot of fun. But in lieu of this, Stephen Amell tweeted, I think it's interesting that WWE is bringing in Batista and using nostalgic talent and taking away from the great roster that's already there. Mm-hmm. So essentially saying they're putting over an old guy instead of who they have. And then I can't remember exactly what Batista was, but he did a snarky retweet back at Stephen Amell, and they've been going kind of back and forth at each other.
Plays Green Arrow on TV, right?
Green Arrow on Arrow, and it also is a very huge wrestling fan. And he actually has had 3 professional wrestling matches. One in WWE, a tag team match, one in TNA, a tag team match, and then last year's All In pay-per-view, a one-on-one singles match. And he did, in my opinion, quite well on all 3 of them.
What's his record? He won all 3? He's 3-0?
No. His tag team matches in WWE and TNA, he won. His one-on-one match against Christopher Daniels, he lost.
Okay.
But put on a very good match. But technically, he would be 2-1. Yes.
So you're hoping for the ultimate.
I want Arrow versus Drax so bad as a wrestling match. I think that would be so much fun. I don't know if it would happen, but I think they could do a pretty good job together. Although Batista is much larger than Stephen Amell.
They are much different weight classes.
He's such a big dude. That's all I got for news. I just said I thought that was kind of cute and it's fun and I'd love to see it. And I hope it happens.
Sounds good.
Any thoughts? Who do you guys think would win in a match between
I think
Green Arrow and Drax? Not Stephen Amell and Dave Batista.
Oh.
Green Arrow and Drax.
Green Arrow would win, I think.
I think it would be Drax, personally.
Green Arrow.
I think Drax, probably.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
like our beer,
So
we are
we never know.
divided.
All right. Well,
All right.
what do you guys think, Brew Crew? Who would win in a fight between Drax and Green Arrow?
Let us know.
Let us know. All right. Well, I guess it's about that time to get on to our main topic. But before we do, I think just for the sake of things, we're going to take us a quick break. And then
That sounds about right.
we'll be right back.
YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, we're just going to let you run.
Instagram we should probably kill because it only records for an hour and then shuts down. I don't know what Facebook does.
Yeah, we're at 40 minutes right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
That works.
I called the break for both of you. Plus, that way you could get your sipper, Jerry.
Yeah.
Plus, I had a horrible transition coming into the next thing, which was actually going to be our next beer, which we should probably start with before our main, right?
Our next beer, the Untapped that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which will allow me to talk a little bit about Tree Fort. I'll try and keep that as condensed as possible.
All right, we will be right back. Instagram, look forward to it. Oh God, you can tell I've been drinking. Look at my eyes.
After the
Yeah, we're not cut on YouTube at all, and yeah, you just said that
YouTube,
right
we
on
don't have
camera.
to. That's fine.
Yeah, I'm just letting you know.
Oh, I said it into Instagram before I cut it.
PK, do you need me to move? Do you need me to get out?
Do you need me to get out?
Are you okay?
I've been drinking forever.
I know, man. I'm with you. I got you by like 60 pounds.
Now.
Oh,
So you tell me.
you can get out if you want.
I was going to stay here for a minute.
Should we just have a conversation with our YouTube people?
I'm down with that.
I'm good
Hi,
with that.
YouTube. Who's watching us? Nobody?
No one.
Nobody watching us on YouTube? Good.
We are on
Good.
so many platforms and split so many different ways.
It's funny that we get people on Instagram and Facebook, but not YouTube. That makes me a little bit sad.
Yeah.
Come on, YouTube. Get on your game here.
YouTube's such a bigger platform. I
It totally is.
kind of think that it's like, okay, the people that are going to watch us live are like, yeah, they're the Facebook people, they're the Instagram people, especially with how much work you do on the Instagram.
Come on, YouTube. Step up your game.
I love that.
Just drinking.
Oh man.
What are you drinking there? Is that the peanut butter?
Yeah, this is the PBJ in your mouth, the raspberry peanut butter and sandwich in your mouth, part in your mouth. The bottom of this glass is cut, and I didn't realize that. I almost sliced my finger.
No way.
Yeah, look at that.
Is that you can actually slice your finger?
Oh yeah.
Where's it at? Oh,
right
right here.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like you can make me slice your finger.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
We'll blame Jerry and Vic.
Yeah. For all
Fix
the
your
blood,
glasses, guys. Come on now.
all the blood running
Get new
around.
glasses.
You don't have to be cheap like that. Buy us new glasses. PK, what have you been up to?
Oh, you know, the same old, same old.
Taking care of your family like a boss.
I've been watching a lot of
Brothers and sisters.
Avengers Assemble on YouTube, on Marvel HQ, and then I've also been watching a lot of Big O, the anime, on YouTube, which is great. I unfortunately couldn't find a playlist of Freakazoid, which I've been searching for the longest time.
Oh, that's.
There's only sporadic episodes on YouTube.
Oh my! I've been thinking about suggesting a weird like cartoon.
Dum 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 dum.
You know, just cartoon character that like is kind of out there. You know, that could have been like after school special, like Saturday morning. And Freakazoid fits that perfectly. For me, it's almost like Pinky and the Brain.
Yeah, but that's all like in the same genre though. It was all WB.
Kinda.
It was. I don't know if it was Steven Spielberg, because he did Freakazoid, didn't he?
I don't know if he did,
Freakazoid.
I don't know if he did Freakazoid, but I know he did. He produced the Animaniacs, and I know that Pinky and the Brain came out of that.
That's true.
So
I only need you to talk to yourself for a while because I gotta go pee.
okay, well I'll just monologue then.
There you go.
A monologue like a villain.
I believe in you.
All right,
You do
you
you,
gotta hurry because I'll probably have to follow you up there. But
Okay.
a monologue. We're trying to give people, you know, something rather than like, oh, what am I staring at? I'm staring at an empty table. This is so exciting. They didn't do anything with their green screen.
We did not, but it's kind of hard to as well.
We're figuring it out. We're figuring it out. It's another day for another thing. How have you guys been? We don't hear much from you. We'd like to hear more. I don't know. We're exploring a couple different options with. We've had some people approach us for like ads and that kind of thing. We want to know what you think about that. Like we want to know if we should be doing that. Like it'd help us produce the show a little bit, but like at what detriment? Like, are you guys going to be seriously offended if we have to self-promote? I don't know, mattresses or furniture or Squarespace or there I go. I even said the name. Oops. Should have just said websites. But we have to do something like that. Are you going to be completely offended? Are you going to miss our own?
Who the fuck are you talking to?
I'm monologuing. Like a villain, I'm monologuing, okay? I had no one else. Paula abandoned me. So I'm trying to keep people entertained other than stare at them. There you go. You abandoned me too.
Yeah.
Walk away, Jerry. Just walk away. So here we are. He's laughing down the hall. I can hear it. So we're, I don't know. We're just exploring different options. We've been approached by a couple different companies to run their ads, and it would be really cool. But we want to get it right for you because we take care of our brand, and we want to make sure that we've explored everything beforehand. Like, would you be interested in an ad-free version of our show, or a version where if we run our own, like during the breaks, if we run our stupid ads that we create out of satire? Yeah. Thank you for coming back. Jerry just walked in and was like, "Who are you talking to?" and then left.
I heard.
So, anyways, hit us back up. We really want to know. We look at stuff like that. We care deeply. It's hard figuring stuff out like that. Like if we're going to, include ads on our show, or I'm trying to bring Paula back up to speed. If you can't get my drift, or just what the deal is with that, because we don't want to offend anybody or have anybody leave. But at the same time, like, dude, beer is expensive, and we've been self-promoted, self-owned.
You can go pee, dude, if you need to. I'll just do it.
Thank you.
I'm gonna chew in front of you guys for a while, if you don't mind. Some ASMR. I'm gonna eat my corn dog.
You eat that corn dog like a boss. All right, I'm gonna walk in front of the video here real quick.
Do it.
Try not to break any cords, snap anything, knock anything over.
That one's on you.
You say that one's on you?
Yeah. Well, you break your
Coming,
cord.
Macy?
Yeah.
Watch out.
All right, we're almost there. You get to monologue for a while.
You can't, because I've just been doing ASMR.
Yeah, corn dog.
Corn dog ASMR. That's hilarious.
So.
I'm sorry, YouTube, for all those that aren't watching.
This is gold.
Cold?
Gold.
Gold
Yeah.
and cold? Oh, the ASMR.
Chewing and swallowing. Yeah.
Mhm. Good, dude. I think you should keep it up. Maybe this is really what's going to send us to the next level. Corn dog ASMR, yep.
Oh, good damn, that was good.
Are we gonna do something just super immature for our 69th episode?
Yeah. I feel like that's obvious.
I feel like that's what you did.
69 dudes.
What's our favorite number?
Bill. 69 dudes. Oh shit, I think I want to go back down.
go pee.
You were out there doing all those things. You did not go pee.
You did not go pee.
easily.
That's fair. You go pee now.
Ah. So Vic,
Yeah.
nothing,
Sure.
right?
All right.
Did you drink all your beer?
I did.
Good for you.
Are you still working on yours?
Yep.
Would you like a suction cup?
Maybe a straw.
No, sure. I can see that.
Back again. Doing little equal drive. I know my calculus. It says you plus me equals us. I know my calculus. It says you plus no, Jerry's gonna be so mad at you. He's gonna be so mad at you.
Calculus.
Jerry's already back.
Calculus.
Well,
Shut up, I didn't do anything, Jerry. What are you talking about?
Video. Oh no, it's a whole thing now. It's a whole thing.
See what you started, Will?
It's a whole thing. Thank you, YouTube. If you're actually watching this, let us know. We'll send you like a fucking cup or something.
Right? Or something.
Just for YouTube or for everybody else?
I don't know.
I don't know. YouTube's more dedicated. They've been with us the entire time.
The entire time, motherfuckers. Okay.
I could do one.
Because no one's watching us on YouTube at the moment. So.
This episode of Brewnomics is brought to you by
Jerry.
Good Dental Hygiene. Remember to brush your teeth, and for gosh sakes, in order to prevent, plaque, gingivitis, and just overall bad breath, brush your tongue. Like if you see white flecks or, plaque or buildup on your tongue, buy a tongue scraper. Do everybody a favor. Don't have bad breath.
did you have a moment with coworkers? You're worried about gingivitis.
No, I'm not worried about gingivitis. I'm just saying that would be a good one to do.
What's this beer?
We're going to bring in the I Tap That beer, so we're going to go with the Mother Earth Brew Company Timber Giant Pale Ale.
I don't think I've ever had this.
I've not had this.
None of us have had it.
How much was it?
Oh, just standard normal price, $9.
$9.
Yeah.
And ever since the Mother Earth have been for like $7.99. So for
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the local brew scene has been doing a much better job about maintaining price.
Sure. This one, I've already pre-researched their website, so I have.
You mean live video fucking ended, you piece of shit?
So
if you want any of this, please let me know. I'm not
That's the IPA.
yeah, sorry.
The pale ale.
the
Potato ale.
The potato ale was
Hey,
actually-
Instagram, quit randomly shutting off our fucking videos, you piece of shit.
That's a great way to intro the video.
Yeah, stick with us. Don't be a bitch, Instagram.
It's not the people, it's the platform.
It's the platform. The people are great. Platform's a piece of shit. You too, Facebook. Get it together. Fuck.
Okay.
All right.
So who's bringing us in?
Fucking douchebags. Thanks, Brew Crew. Fuck you, Instagram.
YouTube is going to just broadcast that forever.
That's fine. YouTube's fine, dude. They're the ones not being cunts. Jesus.
Wow.
How
C
hard
word.
is it to? Yeah, hard C. Capital C. Hard C.
That's going to the ethics.
Who's bringing us in?
I can, if you want. I mean,
And then are we going to the next beer after that, or are we going to?
someone else bring us in, and I'll transition us over to the Mother Earth and Tree Fort and everything.
Neat.
That way, it's just not me talking after I bring us in.
Oh, you bring
endlessly.
this in then.
Okay.
So we're gonna, drink the beer, talk about our spoofs. We'll do our honorable mentions, drink another beer, then our main ones.
Sounds good.
Only interjection I have about that is I have a small little thing about Treefort.
Well, as I was gonna say, like, welcome back, Burger. This is. I hope you enjoyed whatever.
He's gonna bring us in. We're gonna
And
drink
then-
the beer.
And I'm going to talk about Treefort, and then we're going to rate the beer, and then we're going to move on. Okay, we're good. So just make sure we're all on the same
I
page.
feel
That's
like
all.
you said what I said with different words.
Yeah, but what I said was smarter.
That's definitely debatable.
Choose to agree to disagree.
All right, you guys ready?
Oh, God.
That's only for them, not for you and me, Jerry. You know how I feel about you. Oh, the song ended? I wanted to hear more.
Well, we mixed 2 songs.
We did.
I wasn't sure where to go.
I just did
I
it.
got lost.
I did it.
I like Liquid Dreams. That sounds wonderful.
My liquid dreams. I need a girl to mix.
Destiny's
Child.
Just a little mix of Madonna's wild style with Janet Jackson style. Cool. All right.
The only downside I have to Liquid Dreams is if you're my son and I don't want you wet in the bed.
It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah,
It's
we've done a pretty good job potty training him so far. So.
Well, how you get to do it again?
What
Like,
do you think is coming?
Oh,
Where's it
yeah.
coming? All right, here we go.
We're coming back. Paul's bringing us back. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
In 3, 2, 1.
Hey there, Brew Crew. I really hope that commercial you guys just heard was really informative and just educational towards you. Jerry hasn't done the beer for us to drink. What's that beer, Jerry Bass?
I do. This is our I Tap That segment. I don't know why, but I tend to like our I Tap That beer to be the third beer we drink.
It's a good intro for it.
It just seems to work well that way.
Nick, can you intro, for those that are uninformed, what our I Tap That segment is?
Sure, I Tap That is our segment where we highlight a local Idaho brewery and we decide whether or not we tap that, meaning not sexually, but we tap it in the way that if it were in a keg and we were hanging out, we would have that keg over and we would drink that beer all day long.
Thank you. That's very accurate, actually.
I like to think so.
So this beer that we have that Jerry's pouring for us so graciously is from Mother Earth Brewing. They're over in Nampa. And this is their Timber Giant. This beer is infamous or famous, whatever you choose, kind of mean the same thing, for being the Treefort beer of choice.
Yeah, I was inspired by Treefort, it looks like. And I'm sure there are a fair amount of you listening to this going, the fuck is Treefort? Treefort is essentially Boise South by Southwest. If you don't know what South by Southwest is, you should probably get some culture in your life. But ultimately, it's a giant downtown block party that goes over 3 to 5 days, depending on where you're at.
Yep.
But in Treefort's case, it's mostly to highlight musicians. A lot of Northwest musicians. A lot of them you probably haven't heard of. It's kind of meant to discover new artists. But then they'll bring in, some outside artists. Usually have a few big main ones to end the night off. Block off parts of downtown, build stages, any venue downtown, bar, whatever, that you could somehow put a stage in. They put a stage in. It's a whole giant community thing.
And they have other stuff there too. I mean, they have like Comedy Fort and Story Fort,
Yoga Fort, Ale Fort,
Hack Fort.
Food Fort.
a lot of different forts. So many forts.
A lot of houses.
One thing they don't have is fort on how to fucking manage logistics, though, which they probably should do.
It's important.
We'll get to that, but I'm guessing that's because they don't know it themselves, therefore they can't teach others.
Yeah,
So,
they should go to one.
Our favorite fort, however, has to be Ale Fort, which is a little bit different this year. They're going to have their normal air fort, and then they're going to have their process and ingredient kind of bar, which is called the Brew House. Then they're going to have 4 other different bars, which are based off of taste. That being the Hoppy Bar, the Wild and Funky Bar, the Lager Bar, and the Big Barrel Aged Bar. So, interesting thing about Treefort this year is it's sponsored by New Belgium Brewing and Mother Earth. kind of little thing about that. New Belgium's based in Fort Collins, Colorado, not Boise, Idaho. Not everybody's happy about that they're kind of muscling in, because no other brewery is able to really participate with their own events or anything this year.
Yeah, and that's a big
Yeah.
problem to me, really. And I've always liked New Belgium, but in this case, I'm gonna have to say, fuck you, New Belgium. This is not your city. I appreciate that, but you trying to shoehorn out others in our own city, I will kick you in your New Belgium dick. Yeah, dude, I don't know, man. The longer Tree Fort goes on, the worse it gets.
This is
I
the
want
8th
that
year.
to change. This is the 8th year, but they don't know how to stage appropriately. They don't know how to put the right bands on the right stage at the right time. They're insanely overpriced for what it's worth. Like, I stopped going a few years ago when over 75% of the bands were local. They wanted to try and charge, $180 for bands that you could see for free every other weekend in town. They didn't have any special acts come in. A lot of the ones that they did, they either, again, scheduled wrong on smaller stages at weird times, or just canceled and didn't show up. So Tree Fort really needs to get its shit together. I would love for it. It should be an awesome, awesome thing, and it certainly has potential. But things like this, when I see again, you're bringing, first off, Mother Earth is a quasi-Idaho brewery. They're not from Idaho. They started in California, and then they opened another brewery in Idaho.
Well, from my understanding of the story for them is that they didn't like what New Belgium did either, and therefore they really pushed back hard to try and be a part of this year's. And because, yeah, even though they're outside, they wanted to bring a little bit of it back to Idaho, because they do have an Idaho brewery here. They're moving most of their
They're more
operations.
Idaho than New Belgium, that's for damn
Oh,
sure.
hell yeah.
But again, there are so many great Idaho breweries. Tree Fort should be a great example of that.
Agreed.
And now they're hurting it instead of helping it.
Yeah, I mean, even last year, Vic and I went down and we tried to check out Tree Fort, and with the line just to get in to Ale Fort and the price and everything else, we both looked at it and said, you know what, this ain't worth it. And so,
Yeah, we were looking at a solid hour and a half, man.
yeah,
I was like, we're not sitting here for an hour and a half just to drink beer when we could walk down the street in 4 minutes and get a beer. It was absurd.
and that's what we did.
And it's exactly what we did.
And we went to like 3 or 4 top showcase brew houses, or I think one of them was a bar. We went to, where was it? We started it, and we went to Woodland Empire, because that was right next door to Ale Fort. And then from there we went down to Barbarian Brewing, caught a brew.
Got one.
And then after that we went to Old Chicago, and I put more money in the meter because that's where I was parked.
Yep.
And then from there we finished up at Boise Brewing, and we just had a good little pub crawl, just the two of
nice
us.
little pub crawl. Yeah, it was a good time.
Well, that's good. All right, that's enough about Tree Fort, Bill. We have other things to talk about.
Well, can I just say one more thing, Jer? I know you hate it when I elaborate and everything else. Just one more thing. Woodland Empire, right down next door, they are doing the release party for their collaboration with Nappy Roots.
Oh,
What?
shit, that's right.
Yeah.
All right.
They're doing that on Wednesday, basically the exact same time. That is when they will release that beer. The beer is called the Bootlager.
That's a great name for a beer.
Awesome.
Also, I'm pretty excited about that, man. I don't hate Nappy Roots as much as I, kind of hate to admit that. They're not bad.
No, they're a good hip hop band. I love them.
Yeah, there's also some early 2000s hip hop there for you. That'll be kind of fun.
Yeah.
And I like Woodland Empire quite a bit for the most part too. What I mean for the most part, for the whole part.
Yeah, for the whole part, they're a good Idaho staple brand, brewery, everything.
All right.
Yeah, we'll talk about them
Can we
later.
drink this fucking beer yet?
I would hope so.
All
What,
right.
what do we
Oh,
got?
we
What
have
do we
beer?
got?
Okay, we have a beer. Mother Earth Timber Giant Pale Ale. Timber Giant, aka Bigfoot, aka the Yeti, aka Sasquatch, aka Timber Giant, aka Yowie Almas, aka Skunk Ape, aka the. Okay, I'm gonna stop. They literally have all these different names for Sasquatch
Wow.
on
Making that
the
shit up.
can. I wish.
Wow.
I wish that'd be amazing, right?
Well played.
It has many names, none of which fairly characterize its true nature. Call it ... misunderstood. No matter what you want to label it, though, it's wild, adventurous, irreverent, Sound familiar? Whether it's for a weekend or your life mantra, embrace your true impetuous spirit and metaphysical sovereignty. Great minds drink alike. That's what they say anyway. Well, we think wild minds drink alike. A beer inspired by Idaho and Treefort Music Fest. We brewed it for you. Happy Treefort.
The can is probably like an army olive green and has Treefort looking artwork on it.
Crazy. That was an interesting read through.
Yeah.
Wow. Large word.
What do you guys think about the beer?
It smells danky. It smells hoppy. I haven't drank it yet. Let's see.
Danky, hoppy, and has that bitter forwardness to it too.
Not bad. Tastes like actually a pretty good pale ale. We're sitting at 5% on this one. It's supposed to be a sessionable ale, which makes sense at a festival, something like Treefort.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever it may or may not be. If you're going to be doing something like that, you don't want to be getting sloshed too soon. So this is a good, smooth, mellow, all-day drinker.
Easy drinker for
So,
sure.
Perfect example for what you would want in an ITAP segment.
No, this is a really good beer, actually. I'm not mad at it. It is a little piney, little sappy, not in a negative way.
It is a Northwest style pale ale.
For shizzle. For shizzle. So I can't imagine we have that much on Untapped for it yet, since it is a relatively new beer. But what do we got, Vic?
Well, absolutely nothing other than a few numbers here. I have an average rating of 3.87 derived from 91 total ratings, which was added January 31st of this year. That's all that I have.
So still pretty new. Okay, so 3.87 though. All right, well, let's drink it. Let's rate it. Let's see if we tap it or not. And Will.
I'm going to rate this at 2.75.
Okay.
Not a big pale ale IPA guy myself. I do like the crisp, clean finish. But if I had to decide whether or not I would be drinking this all day and get a keg of it, I would not tap that.
Setting the stage.
Brewnomics.
Paula.
What do you got?
3.25.
Okay.
I actually think this is a beer that I think all of our friends could drink. I think it's be one that they want to be mad at drinking. And honestly, I think I would tap it.
Vic.
Oh, well, I have a lot of agreements with Paula, except I'm going to drop my rating down to a 3.0. I'm going to still sit at the fact that I think this is a really nice pale ale, and I do think a lot of our friends could get on board with this, and I would tap it.
Excellent. All right, so at a 5.0, it's a little bit dankier than it normally would be. And I think a lot of people might expect a sessionable to be maybe a lager or a pilsner. Personally, I like that this is a pale ale because I think if you're going to be drinking it all day, it forces you to slow down.
Agreed?
So you're not
Good
going to
point.
get as sloshed,
Good
and you're going
point.
to take your time a little bit more. And in that aspect, I will also give it a 3.25, and yes, I will tap it.
Ooh.
I respect this beer.
William,
I like
you
it.
have been ousted.
That's okay. By majority rules, we have a 75% verdict. This beer will be tapped.
All right.
Good job, Mother Earth.
What it's worth, what it says on the label, what it does well. It does not misrepresent, and I always respect that about a brew.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about some motherfucking spoof movies!
I'm sorry, spoof movies?
Spoof! Or
Okay,
parody.
okay
Or comedy.
There's so much yelling.
No, I'm easily excited.
So
Yeah,
we're
I like this topic.
Easily excited.
Yeah! You should see my dick!
He just jizz in his pants.
My pants. My pants. All right, so essentially, like we do whenever we talk about our favorite style of movies, whatever they may be, we like to do a quick HM, as we call an honorable mention. Take rounds on that, then we'll probably drink another beer, finish the night up there, and then talk about our genuine favorite spoof/parody movie.
So we're starting with the honorable mention?
Yeah,
Okay, who's going first?
Paula.
Okay.
Okay. There's so many good ones. to
There
just
are, dude.
throw
It was
out
kind of
there.
surprising, like a lot of really good spoof movies.
I was surprised at how many are out there.
Dude.
Oh yeah, it's
Like-
a whole thing.
Like stuff I didn't even consider at first, then I was like, oh wait, that totally counts. Go ahead, Paul.
Well, not to name a few, because I did want to name a few, but I don't want to ruin anybody's main topics or HMs. But one that I think about often, and one that I just happen to sing about throughout my week is a song that I think if you guys would join in with me, when you figure it out, that'd be awesome. But silver across the sky high on a blaze of glory, set fire across the eyes on a blaze of glory. So I think you guys know what I'm talking about here. Blaze of Glory, obviously, with Chess Michael Michaels and oh my gosh, what was his name? Jimmy McElroy.
Jimmy McElroy, there you go.
You got the bad boy skating and just the prodigy of ice skating as well.
So you still look like a 16-year-old girl, but not hot.
But not hot. And it just comes from like just a pure redemption movie, because you get two guys who just hate each other and they just want to be the best at their craft. They can't be that way because they hate each other so much. But then they realize once they join together as a team, they become the best at what they love.
Right, the best ice skating duo.
It's a sports spoof, right? Yeah.
It really is, because they have to pull off the ultimate move. I can't remember exactly what it's called, like the flying.
Oh my god!
The Flying Lotus.
The Flying Lotus. Thank you.
Oh,
And their coach, who comes to be their coach, has tried it many times and has ended in many decapitations. Because men and women aren't built to do this move together.
Mhm.
So you have to have a man and a man together is ultimately what he decides, because it requires the same build or similar build. And so it's just essentially all about them perfecting this move, because they both got banned from singles competition. Yep. But not team competition.
Not team.
So it's the only way they can get back to glory. Have you seen this movie?
Because traditionally, a man and a woman compete in couples ice
Exactly.
skating, and it's a man and
And
a man.
Not a couple.
Not a
Also,
couple.
so it's super great because obviously you got Will Ferrell and John Hader. But then their ultimate team that they're going against is fucking Amy Poehler and Will Arnett, who are also married at the time, and they're this fucking great. But aren't they brother and
They're
sister?
brother and sister in the
But they're not a
movie.
couple. They're brother
But
and
the weird
sister.
sexual.
But there's definitely a weird sexual tension there.
I have not seen this movie.
Dude, it's
Damn, dude, you will love
super
it.
quotable.
I was
There's
gonna
like
say-
there's one song and one song only we're gonna skate to.
My
My
humps.
Humps by Black Eyed Peas. I don't know what that means.
Bro.
No one knows what it means. It's just so provocative. But it's provocative.
My lovely lady.
So yeah, that's kind of like a sports parody movie because it's not serious.
It's not serious by any means, and it's definitely just, I don't know, you just get into the storyline of the characters, and I can't eat Slim Jims now without fucking thinking of Blaze of Glory.
Or like I mean, I get really upset if I go to brush my hair or my beard and I can't find my vertical.
You're
Oh
right,
my
Jolie.
God.
Made of
from
whalebone.
Whalebone, absolutely. Yeah.
All you use is horse and mane, right? Is it, yeah.
Yeah. It's the other way.
That's my age.
I'm writing this movie down.
Yeah, you should totally watch it, bro. You gotta watch it.
I'll find it somewhere. I'll let you know.
So my HM, I'm going to go off of the 1991 classic starring Charlie Sheen, Ryan Stiles, John Cryer, and Carrie Ewells called motherfucking Hot Shots.
Hot Shots!
Okay, just Hot Shots. I added the motherfucking.
Should be.
It should be. Dude, the early 90s is maybe the best time for parody movies of all time, in my
Hands down.
opinion.
Yes.
There are so many, but this is directed by Jim Abrahams, who is legendary. You know, he directed this, Airplane, Coming to America, Police Squad, Naked Gun, Scary Movie, like a whole, but like a spoof legend. Right, he's a name that a lot more people should have. But Hot Shots, essentially, it's a parody of Top Gun and Rambo, really. And this is Charlie Sheen in his heyday. God, this guy used to be so funny, dude.
I don't know what happened to him, but in the early 90s when this movie came out, he was the best at
The
what
best.
he did.
Was it
His
too much
comedic
cocaine?
timing?
Probably a lot of
Yeah,
cocaine,
probably.
Too much.
a lot of hookers, a little bit of AIDS,
A little bit. Just a smidge.
just
A little bit of Tiger
just
Blood.
enough.
Yeah.
there.
He's living his best life.
Absolutely, we should all be jealous. But yeah, dude, the Hot Shots movie it's just a great one. I love fucking Ryan Stiles when he's like painting his face because they're gonna do a night raid and he's just painting his face black in his black camo and goes to hand it to the guy next to him who's a black guy and then he just looks awkward and just skips right over him to the next one.
God, I love that.
The
part.
bow and arrow with the rubber chicken from the Rambo
dude.
on there. The kill counts, the nose blowing when he's crying with a snot rag that just keeps going and going and going and going. There's so much just stupid, outrageous, it's dumb. And I love everything about it.
In the best way.
In the best way
Yeah.
possible.
So great.
So yeah, that's my HM Hot Shots.
Oh, so I have to go with my HM because it's directly related to his HM, which is Hot Shots Part D.
Which I think is the best Hot Shots.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, also directed by Jim Abrahams.
You actually might be right, Paul.
Yeah, we got Charlie Sheen reprising his role as the general. We have, Charlie Sheen. We have Lloyd Bridges reprising his role as the general. We have Valeria Galina, who is
she is
the
beautiful.
love interest, and she's fantastically gorgeous. And we have just a great set of people. We also have a great amount of references. We have the Terminator reference in there, because what's his face? Oh my God, the gentleman who plays what's his name? God, I've been drinking, guys. My apologies. We have the guy who was fucking Muhammad. Jerry, help me out here.
Muhammad Al-Akbar.
Wait, who are you? Wait, I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
Fucking,
I got distracted by Instagram.
who's the guy who was the fucking general of Israel? Is like Muhammad? What's?
You're talking about Saddam Hussein.
Thank you very much.
Saddam,
God, why did I
there you
blank
go.
on that? Holy shit. Yeah, we have Saddam Hussein, who basically is the Terminator, the T-1000 in this case. He gets put together again, and he becomes a dog incorporated with the T-1000. It's just fucking hilarious. Yeah, and
Be a liquid metal, right?
Be a liquid metal.
Okay.
Exactly.
we have the Rambo reference. We have the fucking Apocalypse Now reference. It's fantastic.
The Apocalypse Now reference was supremely well done, just because Charlie Sheen, being son of
Martin Sheen.
Meet his
Exactly.
father in the
Exactly.
movie on the rip.
Yeah. So these are ones. If you haven't seen Hot Shots and Hot Shot Part, you've got to. Like I said, it really was. Charlie Sheen was on top of the world between Hot Shots and Major League.
Dude,
both of those
you're not American.
series,
You're
right?
He had Hot Shots, Major League, Hot Shots Part D, Major League 2, man. The early from 1990 to 1995, this dude was on top of this game.
Well, and there are a few actors, and I name another one if you can, that in any time frame have had two absolutely phenomenal back-to-back comedies when it comes to sequels, especially because sequels in general tend to be doomed. More few than comedies. Like the number two a lot of times can be the worst movie. Not always. That's a very loose rule, but with comedies, I think more than anything it shows. And there are two comedies, in my opinion, that greatly outshine the first one. And even though it was my honorable mention, Hot Shot Part 2 is better. It really is.
It totally is.
And the other one for me is Austin Powers.
Austin
Which
Powers.
brings me to my honorable mention, which is Austin Powers.
Really? What are the odds?
I know. This movie is great. It's Mike Myers and starring against his villain, Mike Myers. And if you're going to go, I almost kind of just pair the first two together. Like the third one, it kind of goes off a little bit of the rails.
Sure.
It stays a little bit too formulaic for me, but the first two Austin Powers are just absolutely brilliant. Everything from Zip It to
Zippy Longstocking.
Yeah.
The introductory sequence at the beginning when it's just the fucking musical.
Oh yeah.
Well, that and all the fun, clever ways they hide, the genitalia, the titties, whatever it may be, dude. That's super fun. I love the Austin Powers
Dude,
series.
that's a great pick, man.
But wasn't the third one is when it got commercialized?
A little bit. I don't.
Yeah.
Beyonce.
Yeah.
I don't hate the third one. You can tell it's definitely a little bit cash grabby, but it's still good. There's still enough charm, especially Fat Bastard always helps on that one, right? But I love that pick so much. Will, I'm glad you brought that
Thank
up.
you.
And I genuinely appreciate.
I can't wait till whenever Mike Myers decides to finally realize that it's been enough time that he can come back and almost parody his parody.
A little bit, and there was a lot of the love guru. I think really hurt him how bad it was, and then he definitely kind of had I think a little bit of a mental breakdown. He had a real bad attitude, and a lot of people started to call him on it. And I think he sat back and was like, "Oh, I don't like who I've become," and I think it took him a little bit to come back from that. And I think he has in the last year or so finally started to. You've seen him kind of come back and be like, "Oh, I'm a comedian. I'm supposed to bring joy to people. I'm not supposed to be a douchebag."
Well, he started making it about others and his family and as tributes to them, which is where he came from originally. Like So I Married an Axe Murderer and the Austin Powers movies were both incredibly about his parents.
Yeah.
So I think if he tends to return to that, I think he'll find himself in good graces.
And I'm pretty excited. And the fact that there is rumor that they're actually working on an Austin Powers 4, which is all about Dr. Evil.
Yeah, and Seth Green being the son, and now he's bald and evil, and
so
like I mean, just
there's still a lot of
art
huge
that
potential
character is
for
taken.
this.
Like you know, him saying, "Oh, is that going to be an evil petting zoo?" You know, like you always do that. You always do that. There's so many quotable moments from that movie.
Fucking Jerry Springer.
Oh,
Damn.
I think we're ready to move on to our main.
To our mains and
Man, that's fun, man. Now I want to go
another-
and fucking watch some Austin
Yeah,
Powers.
fucking
That shit
binge
makes me
it.
so happy. I
Yeah.
love that movie.
Oh, I've watched them within the last month. Those movies actually hold up.
Of course,
Oh,
no.
Oh, hell yeah, they hold up.
do.
Hell yeah.
Beautiful.
6 months to a year ago, Jessica, she'd never seen any of them, so I was like, "What? Strap in," and made her watch all 3 of them.
Yeah,
So
strap in. She should just bolt herself to the
right.
couch.
It hasn't been long since I've seen them, and I agree. I think they definitely hold up.
Yeah.
1,000% they do.
Awesome.
They're super good. All right, let's drink another beer real quick because I got this beer based off of spoof movies, really, because it's one of my favorite, not my favorite, but we're going to talk about it. Someone is, and this is a perfect transition into it. He'll tell you why when we get there.
Fuck you.
But this is called Foreshadowing. It's called Laser Raptor. This is from Central State Brewing. This is a sour ale with cranberry, lime, and sea salt from Indianapolis, Indiana, USA. We got us a 5.9
I was born there.
alcohol here. Were you really?
I was born in Indiana. Indianapolis, Indiana.
What? I had no idea.
I am that white, yes.
Yeah, that's very white. But I love this. That fucking Laser Raptor, man. In the can, it's black with a red raptor shooting lasers out of his fucking eyes. I got this one
Killer label.
again because it's called Laser Raptor.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I need more
Why
of an
not?
explanation
Yeah.
than that, right?
That's
But also the fact that it's a cranberry lime sour from, I'm not gonna lie, from Sonic. Their cranberry limeade is one of my all-time favorite beverages. You get that, throw a little bit of vodka in that during the summertime. What a nice cool treat. So I thought this might be similar.
I like a cherry peach. What is it? Ice slushy from Sonic. That's pretty
Yeah,
good too.
there you go. Once thought to be extinct, Laser Raptor is a Goza-style beer brewed with cranberries, limes, sea salt, and fermented with our unique yeast strains. Gosiana. All right, it's a Midwest exotic. I'm pretty excited. Let's see how this goes, huh? I'm really curious to see what this looks like. This is another one I got off of Devore, and it was bright red. So let's see.
Oh,
it's pouring pink. It's pouring
Like a hibiscus rosé.
Fun!
like electric pink.
So this has malt bills from Indiana-grown Pilsner and wheat. Its hops are Citra, but not a lot. Yeast is a CSB house blend of Lactobacillus. That's where we get the sour
Really?
nature
Okay.
from it.
Oh, that's what
The
that's
glassware
right.
performed is the glassware for this particular type of beverage is suggested to be a tulip or a snifter to help release those tannins and
With a good floral sour, that makes sense.
Mhm.
We're gonna use a plastic cup though.
That's what we have. So
So
It's Idaho, people. It's
And-
Idaho.
So the Laser Raptor is sitting at approximately 5.9% alcohol by volume, 10 IBUs with an average rating on Untapped of about 3.92. This is derived from 4,600 total ratings. It was added on March 7th of 2016.
Laser Raptor reminds me of was it Raptor on
Reptar?
on Beast Wars.
I can't say I watched a
You're
lot
talking
of
Transformers.
Oh,
Yes,
hold up.
yes. You know, he was the
Dinobot?
Dinobot. He had laser eye beams. Yes,
Yes.
Dinobot.
It's Dinobot.
It was Dinobot. Dinobot was complex as fuck,
Dude,
as a
he was
character.
He was a beautiful character. Thank you for bringing that up. He was
Oh,
fantastic.
wow, you can smell the salt in
Ooh,
this.
You smell the fuck out of
It
that.
smells like
Yeah.
beer. That's just from looking at the can.
Ooh.
It smells like margarita.
I'm so, yeah.
A
I'm
little bit,
intrigued.
yeah.
And I love that because you guys know I'm a fucking tequila fan,
Mhm.
right? So, okay.
Well, even the sea salt derived from like having to do a specific type of scraping from the top of seawater to just grab that salt. It's very interesting to me.
This is salty, yo.
Different kind of sour than the last one that we had.
Oh,
Very
completely,
different.
completely,
Kind
yeah.
of sour than the last one we had.
This last one had so much sweetness to it. It was like
Mhm.
almost too much pucker. I haven't tasted this one yet, so I'm interested.
Well, we're digging it.
Give me your guys' notes as you all sip while I talk.
It feels very clean to me initially.
Crisp AF. It does have that saltiness, but like the margarita salt. That's what it is, kind of the
Yeah.
salt rim. It's
Mhm.
definitely there. I get the cranberry, I get the lime. It's not, I'd like a little more cranberry in it personally.
Okay, I think it's extremely well balanced.
I agree with Jerry. It seems more lime heavy to me.
Mhm.
I would like more cranberry to balance out the nature of the beer.
Agreed. I get a lot of lime, a lot of salt. I could use more cran.
I could use more cran.
Paulo, what do you think? And that's nitpicky. I really like this actually.
No, it's overall I think it's a pretty drinkable drink. But I do think it's so tarty, you know?
Yeah. Oh, dude, it is tardy to the
Right
party.
there
for
when
sure. Yeah,
right in the back of your tongue and then you swallow.
absolutely. It is. Yeah. But so we got a what? 392 on Untapped. I'm gonna pull this up actually real quick and see what I paid for it on Tavor. I can't remember off the top of my head, but if I loosely remember, I think it was actually pretty well priced. $4
Wow.
a can
Per
on
can.
Tavor.
Per can.
What? So $8 for two of them. So this is half the cost of the frosted blueberries. So that's actually relatively cheap on Tavor.
Yeah,
That's extremely
Shit, I should have got four of them.
it's extremely
Well,
That
well.
price, dang.
I don't know because okay, so from the amount of beer that we've had all day, from sharing our video to doing the podcast, it's just the tartness of how it just overpowers everything we've had already on our palate. It's kind of disconcerting.
Sure.
I think that's a lot of the salt. Salt can be
All the salt, sea
real
salt?
overpowering for sure. And
I agree with JB on
Mhm.
that one. Yeah, it is. The salt is over encompassing on this beer, especially with the advent of a sour beer. So we have a sour combined with salt. Like this is literally a Sour Patch Kid. Like I know we use that a lot. However, very descriptive of what we have.
It's just more apt term now for the
Yeah.
drink. Yeah.
I like this better because it doesn't cut my mouth like Sour Patch Kids though.
Yeah. After
Well,
like
it's
two
just something
pounds of
that it's just something that you would order at least two of, two drinks of.
Yeah,
Agreed.
agreed.
Like,
At 5.9%, the alcohol doesn't get me. However, the salt on the back end does tend to dry the back.
it's a one-off, right? Yeah.
it's weird. You kind of need a sip of this, sip of water, sip of this, sip of water.
You know.
I don't know. Like, I'd probably order this in Hawaii. This would be fun.
This would be
And you're
fantastic.
just eating fruits and stuff, and
I think you're right. Like I'm gonna play off of that, which is very refreshing to me. It's a very refreshing beer
Yeah.
because it's not super sour. It's just it's crisp, it's clean, it's refreshing.
What y'all motherfuckers think about this 392? Let's talk about that though. Is that high? Is that appropriate?
well,
Will shaking his head yes, like that's appropriate.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
kind of where I'm sitting.
I think after hearing Vic say like it's a bit refreshing, after drinking it and letting it sit, it does linger in a good way.
Well, it's one that on the can, it's one that actually recommends that you wait, and it's like our sour before that says drink at, I think, 45 degrees, if I recall right. So it's another one of those ones that you need to let it kind of warm up a little bit for those flavors to really open up.
This, This tastes like a very lime-forward fruit punch Gatorade.
That'll get you drunk.
That'll get you drunk. Yeah. I mean that in the best way possible. It is more margarita almost than I would say even most beers are, but it is so light and refreshing. What is the ABV on this again?
5.9.
Yeah, this has got to be
Which is personally my favorite. That's right where I like it to hover,
It's
is
a
the
solid
6%.
spot to be in. I agree
Yeah.
with you, Jerry. Yeah, it's a good place to
That's
be.
exactly what I was getting at, because this is kind of one of those beers that you can have almost all day, but you're gonna feel it if you drink it all day. But you could have it all day if you wanted to, if that's your thing as a sour drinker. This is kind of a really good money drink for you, especially at that price. I'm gonna go ahead and rate this. I think it's 4.0.
Ooh.
I think the rating on Untappd is sitting right there, right at, was it 3.93? I think 3.92. I think that's absolutely correct. So I'm going to go 4.0.
PK, what you got?
As a sour drinker myself, when I usually choose a cider or a sour over a lot of other things when we go out, I give this a 3.25. For me, it's a bit too puckering. When I have that swallow, it's not something that I want to eat something afterwards, or have another drink afterwards. I want to have a drink of water instead of another drink of this particular type of beer.
Makes sense.
But I do like the way it tastes.
I like that. If I'm to rate this now, I'm gonna do a 3.5. It's refreshing. I do think that I can't continue to drink this overall. This is a one-off for me. When I'm just sort of sampling beers. So yeah, I'm gonna do a 3.5, which is still one standard deviation outside of our 2.5 average bell curve. So it's still generally pretty highly rated so far.
I can't decide where I want to rate this. It keeps changing. I'm somewhere in between a 2.75 and a 3.75.
That's a wide range for you.
Dude,
That's a huge
right?
fucking
It
jump.
really is. I've
Whole
never
standard
had that.
deviation.
Usually I'm like 2.75, 3, but I'm like, I can't decide if I don't like this or if I really like this. It's kind of like, I don't know. It's fucking weird.
But that's why I feel like I should have gave it a 3.25, because it kind of sits in the middle in that sense.
So then that was going to lead to my next point. Yes, I have to meet in the middle. Give that bitch a 3.25. What, Will? Why are you pointing at me?
Because I've been trying to say something, but I don't want to overtalk you or interrupt.
What's up,
I'm
man?
just
Go ahead.
at you, man. All right, here we go. I was curious, do you have any of the blueberry frosted pastry left?
Yes,
You do.
yes.
I suggest.
Actually, maybe not. I think in our break, I went and gave the rest of it to Jessica.
Oh, okay.
I think I actually did. So no, I don't think so.
All right, darn. Because I was going to say, I think you should contrast the two of them, and then that might actually help you figure out exactly where you place this.
Maybe.
Just because they are so contrasting with that sweet versus sour.
But here's one thing that I do like. Off of Tavor, $4 a can.
Yeah.
Super cheap. Very affordable.
And that
that
for me
really
is where
turns me on to this,
it
especially
put
because
it
it's
up there.
fun. I like the color. I don't dislike the beer by any means. And again, it's called the Laser Raptor.
Yeah. You can't get past the laser.
Exactly.
That's a wonderfully named.
What do you rate it, Will? Finish this out.
I already
you
did.
rate it?
Yeah, I give it a 4.0.
You did? Oh, that's right. Sorry.
I thought the rating was right where it
All
needed
these
to be.
beers today, my mind's a little like, hi.
Well, we're wrapping up.
I'm drunk. That's all right, so
Hi, Jerry.
let's
Welcome to
finish
the
up
group.
with our favorite spook movies. Starting off again where we started with our HM with the handsome Cambodian iron rod, the caramel colored sex machine. Paula Kamala.
Thank you. I think I appreciate that intro. Did you rate your beer?
Yeah,
You did?
yeah. So I said I'm somewhere between a 2.75 and a 3.75. So let's meet in the middle
Okay,
and give it a
you-
3.25.
My own rating.
Yeah,
Okay,
you're so I agreed with you. Yeah,
I blacked out. I'm sorry.
it's all right.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I'm
I
better
feel you
rating
right there, bro. I can't get mad at you because I'm right there with you. You know, I'm like, what?
Speaking of laser raptors, a term that I often think of is triceratops. Triceratops is from the good old movie Kung Fury.
Kung Fury.
Kung Fury. It's a combo of 80s kung fu and cop movies, and it's just one of the best goddamn movies ever made.
It really is, and it's 32 minutes long.
Only 32 minutes, but it feels like a
Straight
fucking
up.
full-life feature
32
somehow.
minutes long. It's I think it's Scandinavian. I can't remember Norwegian, Swedish, something Scandinavian, but Yeah, that's exactly right. It's this cop, Kung Fury, in the 80s who is going after this bad guy, and his partner gets killed, cut in half, and he goes to avenge his partner and simultaneously gets bit by a cobra and struck by lightning in an alley in the middle of New York City.
Because that happens to everybody.
Exactly! That's the thing. This
It's
movie
life.
is fucking ridiculous.
Because
Talk about the
movies.
ultimate parody. The whole reason I got Laser Raptors, okay? He has to go back in time. I'll let Paula explain the plot on what happens, but in fact, Paula, you go ahead. We'll lead up to it.
Well, to give you a brief synopsis, Miami Police Department detective and martial artist Kung Fury time travels from the 1980s to World War II to kill Adolf Hitler, aka Adolf Führer.
Führer. The Kung Führer.
Okay.
The Kung Führer, and revenge his friend's death in the hands of the Nazi leader. But by error in the time machine, sends him further back into the Viking Age. So it just happens to be a whole lot of things he goes
Okay,
through.
so here's we go with the Viking Age. So he gets in there, he lands, goes too far back in time. All right, so they figure out somehow Hitler's gone into time. They're fucking up the timeline. He has to go back. How does he go back in time? Hacker Man, who literally hacks time and sends him. Yes, it's ridiculous as it sounds. Will sends him back in time, but he's on a time jumping skateboard. Okay,
Obviously, come on.
So it sends him back, and he gets there. He lands on this beach, and all of a sudden, this raptor pops up and starts shooting lasers at him. And he goes, "Fuck, laser raptors!" And then just above the horizon, these two hot, sexy barbarian chicks with big old titties. One's riding a T-Rex, and the other one's riding, I don't know, but their T-Rex is mounted with fucking machine guns on them, and they're just shooting these fucking laser raptors off, and they're like, "Oh, thanks. By the way, where am I?" And these ladies go, "You're in the Viking era," and he just goes, "Oh, that explains the laser raptors." That's it.
It's the best live action cartoon ever.
Is this
That
a movie?
explains the laser raptors.
Just so you're aware, this movie was available on YouTube the last I checked for free.
Is it really?
No,
It was on
it's
Netflix
still
forever.
free
Is it?
too. Yeah, they say you can download it off the fucking website.
So
I know.
yeah,
And it
check
is
it out.
legitimate. And
I know what I'm doing tonight.
And Triceracop, his whole thing, he was Kung Fury's new partner, is shoot people in the dick. That's all he does.
That's all
That's all he does.
Dick shot. Dick
It's
shot.
a Triceratops.
He goes to shoot somebody, they cover up his dick, left shoulder, right shoulder, opens up the dick, dick shot.
I know what I'm doing tonight. I had this
Kung Fury, you know.
when you described this movie, Paula, I was like, oh yeah, I remember that parody movie, and I was probably thinking of Kung Pao.
No, I did the same thing. I totally did the same thing when Jerry and Vic brought it up to me, and then they showed me Kung Fury, and my whole world changed. So
Okay, well I need to be prepared
the
for that.
movie
tonight,
starts
then,
out
okay?
with an arcade system coming to life, forming arms and legs, and starts killing people. It brutally kills people. Nonsensically.
Literally nothing about this movie makes sense, and it's all the best ways.
It's a good 80s cop martial arts movie, though. And that's what
Well,
the spoof is, though, right? Overall.
But here's the thing, the martial arts in the movie, though, pretty good.
They're actually decent.
Actually pretty decent.
All right. There's like side scrolling, like in
It is.
arcade movies. That's the action scene.
It
Side
is.
scroll.
It's side scrolling, and you can tell this dude's just doing his like kung fu kata, and they're just shoehorning like zombie Nazis into it. Just watch the fucking movie.
Yeah.
Just
There's so much happening in
How
every
do
scene.
you even storyboard something?
very carefully.
Yeah. Just drink a 6-pack and have fun.
Amen. Right? That has to be
Yeah,
it.
right.
That has to be it.
Jerry, bring us forth. What's your main spoof?
My main spoof is not just my favorite spoof, but I think undisputedly, it's the undisputed world heavyweight spoof champion of the world.
Almost everybody.
Of the
is-
world.
That's right, it's the
Everybody
world
knows.
champion of the world.
Yeah.
We're talking about Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Men in tights.
I love this movie so hard. It's maybe you could argue that it's not a spoof movie. It's just Robin Hood told as a comedy because story-wise, it's one of the truest to form stories to Robin Hood that we've had as like a major motion picture.
Yes, that's true.
But again, going back to Carrie Yules, absolutely phenomenal. It's a Mel Brooks movie who, to me, is the spoof god of gods on there. He's absolutely hilarious. But yeah, it's the story of Robin Loxley, coming back from the Crusades. His house gets taken. He's got to get his shit back. The music in this is also phenomenal. Talking from the Men in Tights song, him wooing Maid Marian, everything about this movie, I just love. And we're going back to the beginning, what I brought in. I watched this a little over a week ago. But it was kind of weird because I was watching this movie, which is pretty much VHS quality on a 4K TV. That's weird, man.
But you still enjoyed the movie.
Oh, absolutely. The movie, I was in tears with this movie because it's been a few years since I've watched this. So here's the thing. I'm not going to tell you the title of it, but if you motherfuckers want to search on YouTube, Robin Hood Men in Tights, me, Paula, Vic, and our friend Wayne actually did a shot-for-shot remake of the Men in Tights song.
Oh,
we sang it. We did the dance for our friend Kevin because it was also all of our favorite movie before he got deployed to Iraq for 2.5 years.
That's a send-off.
So it was a send-off.
Yeah, we did something.
We wanted to do it, and it's on YouTube. You can watch it. I'm not going to toot my own horn, but we did pretty good.
How old is this movie? Is this Jerry before the beard?
1990.
This is when we were all skinny.
It was a light beard, but this was probably 2006.
Okay.
2007, 2008.
Yeah.
It's an older one, man. Because
10 years.
Yeah, about that's probably about right on there. But yeah, it was fun. 1993 was when this movie came out.
Which one of you guys played Dave Chappelle's character in that?
Who the fuck do you think? It was me.
Yeah. No, because I actually wasn't in that video, so.
Yeah, actually, it was just you, me, and Wayne.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It was just the three
Yeah.
of us? Oh, okay. God, it's just hard.
He did the, oh my God. Well, it was a workout montage that we did with you. You did the one-up
Yes, it
push-up and
does,
everything.
Troy. Yeah, it's just, I think it's just hard for me to envision myself doing things without Vic after all this time.
Right. You know what I love when he's like, "It's my name, man. Achoo."
My name's Little John, but don't let the name fool you. In real life, I'm very big.
I can't swim.
I love how you brought up Dave Chappelle because that was one of the only movies Dave Chappelle has been in.
Very few. It's like this and Dazed and Confused. No, that is
Yeah.
He's in
No,
Dazed
he's
and
not in that
Confused.
one.
How High? He was in.
He was in Half Baked.
Thank you.
Half-Baked.
Thank you. That's what I meant.
Half Baked.
That's what I meant. Not Dazed and Confused.
He's
That's all
also
white people.
in.
It's Matthew McConaughey.
What's the movie about the bookstore with Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan? You've Got Mail. He was in You've Got Mail.
You got me.
Was he really?
Shit.
Yeah.
You're
He was
right.
in You've Got Mail.
I've never seen that movie.
And recently he was in the movie with Bradley Cooper. It just came out and
The Lady Gaga one?
yeah, that one.
Really?
A Star is Born.
A Star is Born. He was in that too. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Solid.
Interesting.
Okay.
But you're right. But it is. You don't see Dave Chappelle pop up in movies that often, and he's fucking great in Men in
Yeah.
Tights. We also got Oscar.
Not Oscar Isaac, but
Isaac Hayes.
Isaac Hayes. Yeah.
Thank you. Before he went nuts, in there. So I genuinely love that movie. So that's mine.
So we have a comment here off of YouTube. Troy
Mendenhall.
Mendenhall. Yes, you guys know him.
Mhm.
Say hello.
Hi, Troy. Thanks for watching, by the way.
He brought up the fact that he loves Men in Tights, but he doesn't know if it's the best
Yeah, well, he's fucking wrong. You're fucking wrong, Troy.
What do you guys say, Troy?
of the other Mel Brooks.
Type it right now.
Mel Brooks spoof films, which brings us to Vic's
Yeah,
honorable mention.
Troy, let me help you out here. Tell me what you think about this. I'm talking directly to you, sir. See my eyes?
Come on, Troy.
They're big.
Get
They're
your game
brown.
on.
You're looking at them.
They're beautiful.
I'm gonna hit you with Spaceballs, okay?
There it is.
Spaceballs. I fucking love Spaceballs, so goddamn hard. This is directed by Mel Brooks, who also plays President Scrooge
/ yogurt.
and Yogurt. Okay, this is basically a parody of all Star Wars films. As a whole, we got Rick Moranis, John Candy,
Bill Pullman
playing Lone Star,
Dick Van Patten.
Dick Van
Love
Patten
that,
is King
man.
fucking Roland, who is president of Druidia. He's the king. I'm sorry. And we have the late great Joan Rivers as Doc Matrix. And you goddamn have Michael Winslow as the radar technician. Fucking love Michael Winslow.
You got the
dude.
beeps,
The
the
squeaks,
peeps, and the squeeps.
and the
Got the
I mean,
beeps.
you have characters in this movie known as Pizza the Hut, okay?
Pizza the Hut.
Who ate himself in a tragic limousine accident where he got trapped inside.
You got John Candy. He's a Mog. Half man,
Half
half dog.
He's his own best friend. Can't beat it, man. It's fantastic. You got John Hurt in it, who reprises his role from Aliens, man.
That's right. But the alien doesn't just pop out; it pops out and goes, "Hello, my honey. Hello, my darling. Hello, midnight girl." Perfect. We don't fuck that up.
We all
You
fuck
get
that
the
up.
idea.
You
We
know
all
what we're
fuck that.
saying. We've been dreaming.
He sang the Michigan J Frog song. Just look that up.
Exactly.
Same
Michigan
thing.
Frog.
Yeah.
Fucking love it.
As far as like sci-fi, I love sci-fi movies, so that's why Spaceball speaks to me incredibly well, because it was such a fantastic sci-fi parody to me.
What year did this come out?
I see your Schwartz is as big as mine.
This came out in
87.
1987.
So this movie is 2 months older than I am.
Yeah.
Darth Helmet.
Dark helmet.
I don't know why, man, but when they went plaid, I fucking came for the first time. In my life. I was fucking 3 years old. You know, just- I was like, oh man, I can't.
The idea about halfway through the movie when they're looking at the film of Spaceballs and watching it, and they're watching themselves on screen, that blew my mind.
Dude, they
Oh,
broke the fourth
dude,
wall.
one of the
most
best.
brilliant of ways, man. You're
First time
absolutely right.
Ever seen that in a movie?
You just missed it.
Never.
Yeah. What happened?
Yes,
That was
man.
then. Yeah,
This is
This,
now.
this is one thing to me when we started, or I had thought of this episode. For me, we almost could have done, and this may happen when the man passes, which unfortunately, actually, he's like 90 and he's still in great health apparently, but a pure Mel Brooks episode, because that man
We
is
almost
so
could, yeah.
great. We're not talking about Young Frankenstein. We're not talking about Blazing Saddles. Whatever else man's catalog has, he's absolutely wonderful. So I genuinely, absolutely adore the fuck out of Mel Brooks and all he's done. He's a huge part of my childhood, especially these two movies.
Huge part
The
of my
producers, that's another one I fucking love. So the world is a much better place because Mel Brooks has made it so.
Vic, did you have anything else that you wanted to add on that, or before we wrap up on that?
No, not so much.
Okay.
I mean,
Cool.
Go.
I have to say that the first movie that came to my mind when I was gonna pick my main was Spaceballs. So,
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
but it was taken, and rightly so. Therefore, my main is going to be Monty Python and the Holy Grail,
Legendary.
which is the spoof on King Arthur and the Holy Grail, or
Yep,
King Arthur
The
and
King Arthur
Round
story,
Table.
really.
Whatever,
Knights
yeah.
of the Round Table. Yeah.
This is a movie composed entirely of Monty Python's flying circus actors. I mean, you've got amazing stars in this movie, of which I cannot name it.
Well, John Cleese,
Thank you.
Graham Chapman, Terry
Terry
Jones,
Gilliam.
Michael Palin, Connie Booth.
Eric
A
Idle.
lot of great people in this one, dude. The Monty Python cast as a whole was absolutely phenomenal. In this movie, this is one where I always hate the, you haven't done this, but it's one where if you bring up Monty Python and somebody's like, I haven't seen that, it's genuinely shocking.
Well, not only shocking, but it's like you need to experience this in your life. Like, even if you don't laugh at it because you don't understand it for whatever reason, you need to watch it just once. This was a movie that was introduced to me by my dad and my grandfather. So this comedic timing of this movie has been ingrained in me. Like, my grandfather has said repeatedly, when he dies, he wants the video of the dead parrot sketch from Monty Python's Flying
Oh.
Circus played at his funeral.
Wow.
Cool.
Well,
So
that's
it's just-
beautiful.
It's just
It really
awesome.
is.
Cool.
That's not how well these guys did it. I love that this was one of the original, like, they knew they were low budget
Oh yeah.
on there, and they kind of like how Deadpool did in the modern world, directly attacked the studio for being low budget because they were supposed to have a lot more money than they did, and it got slashed at the last second. So they had to essentially cut out all the horses in there. So they had a whole thing set out, the stable ready to go, and then it was gone. So and that's where we get the 2 half coconuts of them coming into there.
Thank
Was
you for
just a
bringing that
shot
up.
to the studio there for cutting their budget. And to me, that's one of the most beautiful, genius, ingenuity solutions that you have for a budget cut that not only was great, but probably made the movie better than it would have been without it.
Agreed.
Oh, I mean, I love this movie. I mean, everything like what you said, from the coconuts to the holy hand grenade of Antioch to the, wooden rabbit Trojan horse that they launched in the building, the Frenchmen that are just taunting them a second time. The answer these 3 questions, 3 on the bridge.
What was it? Your mother was a what? And
Your mother
father-
was a hamster and your father smelled of
elderberries.
It's like, you have to really think of that a little bit in order to get the joke, but it's hilarious
and deep.
and gross.
And gross. Google it. If you're like, what's the meaning?
Google
I'm
it.
not going to Google it.
Yeah. But I mean, all the way, like you said, low budget to the fact where, like, at one point, the entire troop of Arthur and his knights are trying to escape a monster, and then the animator has a sudden heart attack and dies, thus saving the entire film.
That's right. Another great fourth wall breaks in that movie, man. And that's another one because, again, this came out in 75. And then, Mel Brooks had a few things before that, but you can definitely see, especially with Men in Tights, there's some Monty Python humor in there.
There's a lot
There
of
really
references.
is,
Yeah.
which is references, homages, whatever it may be, inspiration. Even Mel pulled some stuff from Monty Python.
Oh man, dude, I just remember watching this on repeat with the Black Knight and how he always triumphs, and just watching this on repeat and rewinding it and just laughing to the point where, like, I was in pain and tears. And my sister was, like, right next to me doing the same thing. And, like, I caught her, like, maybe 3 months later doing that. And I was like, oh, you watching that? And then I was like, oh yeah, that's still funny.
Still funny. It holds up to this day, man. That's a fantastic choice.
So thank you.
That's awesome, man. It really is a great choice. Just that whole catalog. So I don't know. This was fun. I had a good time looking back on these movies.
Mm-hmm.
I guess let's wrap up though.
Wrap it up.
Time to do that. Before we move on, anybody been watching anything, doing anything, playing anything, reading anything, jerking into anything?
I've been trying to finish up the Grand Tour Season 3. That's amazing. The
That's 3
highlights,
seasons deep already. Huh?
yeah, the highlights of that show is find anything that you can where they have been on quote unquote vacation or they go on any kind of trip, because the whole thing just dissolves into madness.
Oh, well,
all
that's
the
even
time.
how it was in Top
Yeah.
Gear, I think, before they did that. That was part of the. To me, those were some of the most fun episodes.
Well, and I mean, if anything, they just bring those up and will just ratchet them up to 11.
Oh, easily. Yeah, those are the most fun episodes just because you're like, this is going to go fucking wild in this showing.
Yeah.
Pays off.
Shout out to episode, I think it's like 7 out of 8 that they have, like when they all go Winnebagoing across
There you
out
go.
out near Vegas.
Yep.
That was a really good episode. And then the only thing I've really been reading other than that is I've been catching up on some Spider-Man Deadpool action.
Nice.
Nice.
That's been a lot of fun, actually, because it's like Spider-Man, but within a little bit of adult humor from Deadpool. So
It is.
it's just about perfect.
When he won't kill them, he will just unalive them.
Unalive.
In the comic book that I just read, it was I can't remember, but Deadpool essentially like has a whole bunch of brains in his pockets from the morgue, and they're going off against Dormammu and the mindless ones, and he just starts shoving brains into the mindless ones, and he's like, "You get a brain, and you get a brain." And
I
you get a
haven't
brain."
read that. That sounds hilarious. I love it.
I'm not really giving away any spoilers. Just
Sure.
right in
Oh
case.
yeah, that's I think that's
But,
fair. That's awesome.
Yeah, go check out any Spider-Man Deadpool comic that you can. It's awesome.
They're fun. They really do have a great relationship. They have some of the quirkier comic books. I finally finished Punisher season 2. I'm pretty pissed off at Netflix and Disney for whatever bullshit they couldn't figure out to keep this shit going.
They already canceled Jessica Jones, and that
Well, all
show
of
hasn't even like,
Between Punisher,
been part
Jessica
of it.
Jones, Daredevil, all of it, dude. Luke
Yeah.
Cage, but to me especially Punisher and Daredevil. So, whatever. It is what it is, but I'm a little bummed about it. And then mostly just editing these bracket videos. Excited to get those out to the people. See what you think. I think it should be fun. So stay tuned.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm drunk, guys. Um,
Right there with you.
Nice.
I don't have the ability to elaborate much further on the fact that I have not done a whole.
He finally beat Spider-Man to completion, including the DLC.
Yes.
Oh, I did do that. Thank you.
I know that. That to me is a pretty big deal.
That was
That's a
big deal.
lot of gameplay, y'all. What a
It
great
was
game.
A huge amount of gameplay. Looking forward to the beta release of Mortal Kombat 11, which will be
Yes!
on March 28th, a week from now. So we do have beta access, and we will do a little bit of it. A little bit of it.
You have to invite me over.
Fuck you, Will. Just for no, that's fair. It'd be rude not to. I just didn't want to share the glory.
Yeah. So be aware of that. We'll do some gameplay. Talk about that. So
Yeah.
get prepared.
Yes.
Follow us on Twitch. We don't have a Twitch.
You know,
We don't have a Twitch
Maybe
just
we
yet.
will.
We will.
we might.
We will. We'll do it.
Oh, what have you been up to?
I've just been editing a video for our beer March Brightness.
I can imagine myself I even feel like Paul and I at the same time, just at like 9:30 at night, just lay our heads back, rub our eyes, and just
You guys have been.
all right, keep going
champions.
at the exact same time.
You guys have been
Gotta do it.
champions of this.
Gotta do it. So look forward to that, people. If you're following and listening and watching to us, it will be fun. And I jacking off's not new, so I guess I shouldn't say that.
True. Well, unless no, that's not new. But if the material you've used is new.
Oh, so jacking off's been new. So there you go. There you go.
Like any new,
What?
like interracial stuff, granny stuff, mid stuff, whatever it may be. I don't know what you're into.
Let the man be, Jerry.
I'm just curious.
That's what led to that. Stop it.
Curiosity. Man,
The show's gone off the rails.
it's off the
We've lost
rails.
control.
All right, y'all. Well, tell us your favorite spoof movie because I'm sure there are a bunch of them we missed. Let us know if you agree, disagree. We don't care. Just talk to us, please, or don't. But
You don't have to sound desperate, Jerry. We're fine.
I know. I crave interaction.
Yeah.
Crave it. Again, stay tuned to all things social media at Brewnomics, especially our YouTube page, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Tell us if you think we should get a Twitch account. Until next time, you're beautiful, you're powerful, you do great things. My name's Jerry.
I'm Paula.
I am Vic.
I'm Will.
Cheers.
Cheers, everybody.
We are out.
We are out.
Out. I gotta fart so bad. It's not in this room.
Yeah, please don't. It's very competitive.
Very
All right, YouTube, we are signing off. Thank you so much.
You son of a-
It happened. It happened.
We all need to vacate the room as quickly as possible in an orderly fashion, with hopefully not destroying our equipment. So we will be going. All right, goodbye.
Of all people, right? I just pulled there. Zach, people.